Hey everyone, some guy who ranks stuff here, and today I'm going to do a ranking of the characters in Parks and Recreation. It occurred to me last time when I did the Office characters that I'd actually much rather do the Parks and Recreation list because, well, to me, it's a much better show. At least I enjoy it a lot more. I think it has better characters. So I found this right here. It's McGrath Jaden, apparently, who made this tier list. Well, at least this template, and I'll make my own kind of tier list here. In preparation for this one, I removed the awful row at the bottom because I don't think I'm going to use it. I don't feel like any characters are really awful. There might be some bad, but mostly they have their use, and I do enjoy them to at least some certain extent. So I will rank these based on, what kind of job they do in the show as a character, how much they develop maybe, and of course my preferences. Who do I enjoy or enjoy watching? I should say. So yeah, let's start from the top here. I'm not sure if like every character that should be here is here, but at least this is maybe the one I found with the most characters. So I do feel like I'm going to put these into each, at least most rows here. But I will say that I might forget some names. I've watched the show at least a couple of times and I really enjoy it, but there are some characters I do at least remember, but I just can't remember the name of them. So this is Dr. Harris, is that it? I actually just saw the name. I think maybe it was. So yeah, he's kind of weird. There are some scenes I remember with him, like with Jerry, him mentioning that he has the largest penis he had ever seen. But there's also the party that Anne threw this one time. It was really awkward there. It's nothing too special. Kind of weird. I'll put him in okay. So this is strong, of course. Ron Swanson is amazing. The manliest man there ever was, so to speak. Hilarious from the start, being this government worker who's against the government and just trying to, slow things down. He has very specific preferences to the world, to politics, to just the the way he lives. Hilarious guy. He's this tough one, and the thing with me when it comes to character development, I really enjoy the characters who are always really tough, shows little to no emotion, but then at some point finally becomes a little soft. And Ron is one of those characters, and those moments I feel like are always golden, so to speak. There's not much to say. Ron, he's given, of course, is amazing. One of the best characters in the series, maybe on TV as well. Orin, creepy guy, weird. Of course, he is a friend of April. Yeah, he doesn't do too much, but he's weird, creepy. I think he's a good character. He's kind of a layer to April, actually, to see just how weird she is when she has this weird, creepy guy as a friend who just happens to appear out of nowhere sometimes. So this is Carl, I think, and his Amber character. It was in this one episode, I think. Loud, weird, but didn't stand out too much. Short appearance, actually. This guy, I remember having the video shop, which Leslie convinced to change his shop because it was about to be shut down, and just bring in what people want. So we started a porn video shop instead. But him as a character isn't too much. I feel like this guy is a little bit, even though it was funny, he was kind of annoying as well. This guy doesn't stand out too much, really. This guy, however, Dennis Feinstein, the perfume guy, he's a huge a-hole. And sometimes I just really enjoy characters being really Sorry, can't speak all the time. Exaggerated to like an over the top extent, and he's definitely one of those. I hate him, but in a good way because I'm supposed to dislike him. He's a terrible guy, and I enjoy him on screen. Ben White's not the top, not the bottom, of course, but he's nerdy. He's good. He's I did really enjoy how he and Chris came in, with him being like the bad guy and Chris being this overly positive guy. I'll get to him, of course. But I think maybe Ben is one of the main characters that I enjoy the least in some ways, but it's still a great one. He's enjoyable. Milton Gergich doesn't do that much. Even though she dated Chris and is the one in the Gergich family outside of Jerry, Gary, Larry, and so on, we see the most. She's not really doing that much. She's, she's a pretty woman. She's a nice woman. Nothing stands out with her. Then we have Chris. He's at least great, maybe even amazing. I think he's hilarious in all the ways. He's being overly positive. Of course, I enjoy how he's always like Africans and just so enthusiastic about everything. Maybe gets annoying sometimes, but especially in the beginning, I thought it was really, really enjoyable. We have Marlene, Leslie's mother. She's good. Nothing stands out too much. She did have that, well, the point where this picture is from, where she's hitting on Ben, which of course complicated things between these three, but, well, yeah, I think she's a good character. Ethel Beavers, this old woman doesn't give a crap about things. Guess she's at that age. She's funny, okay. Nothing too much. Mona Lisa, she's the worst! I wish I could do that a little bit better, but apparently I can't. Well, she's not worst in that sense, but she's worse than Sean Ralphio, but still a good character. But man, she is horrible in sort of a good way, just like Dennis Feinstein. But maybe I enjoy the character a little bit better than the likes of Dennis. Then we have this guy. I should put him together with. I saw her earlier. There we go. So these two are kind of together. This really. I've forgotten the names of both of these, but they're like really pro-Christian things, traditional things, to a certain extent that they're just so freaking annoying. And I guess that's a joke that, like, she was against the gay marriage between the two penguins, because, well, she's against that sort of thing, I guess. But she's also with this guy who seems, may not be, I don't think they ever confirmed it, but he's very, like, he's how should I say, he's acting kind of like what you could expect from a stereotypical homosexual person. So I guess that's kind of a joke that she's with him, but he still supports the same things as she does. I guess they're okay, both of them. Of course, Pawnee, as I'm not sure how many characters here are actually from like Pawnee, from the town meetings and stuff, but I just love how little the intelligence is in the population of Pawnee. So I feel like they kind of belong, and of course they do help with standing against a lot of the ideas that Leslie tries to bring into the town or stand up for. So it's good for an opposition. Kind of contrasting the really stupid ones that come from the, how should I say, the average person in Pawnee. Then we have Burley, one of, well, he used to be Andy's roommate, but of course a band member of Mouth Rats. Isn't doesn't stand out too much. They had like this little conflict where Andy skipped out of or just never met up to the band practices, and they ended up playing the gig without him. But they have a good friendship, good chemistry. Nothing that stands out too much, but yeah, no, maybe here he's not in the same level as like Dennis. He has character. Burley is more mellow, nice. Yeah. And when it comes to annoying things, Craig, I don't really care for him. He annoys me, and he's a mainstay in the later seasons. So I do see him more than Carl here, but the way he just rages on sometimes is just it's a bit too much for me. Tom Hanford, Tiki Tiki Tam Tam, no T-Boss, no Tommy Tsunami, whatever you want to call him. No, sorry, he's here. Amazing. I love Tom. All his business ideas, like the luxurious lifestyle he always tries to achieve, walking on red carpets all the time with red carpets at home, in his shoes and everything. He is hilarious. He's a jerk sometimes. He's really funny, and I do enjoy like he gets made fun of at times, but it's also kind of well deserved in many ways. I also love the episode where he lost his right to use screens for like a week because he drove into a fire hydrant while he was driving, and he had to read his tweets in court, and he always tried to say like allegedly before I allegedly hit the hydrant, and the next tweet read, "Oh, just hit the fire hydrant" or something. So he was just putting it out there. A great character. Barney, this is Ben's boss many times at the accounting firm, I think it was, that Ben applied for a job and was always welcome because, well, him especially, like Barney especially, loved Ben. He loves his jokes at this dry office. I mean, I really do enjoy him, just how much he's kind of fanboying Ben Wyatt. So he's at least good, maybe even great. I enjoy him quite a bit. Wendy was Tom's ex-wife. She was Ron's girlfriend for a time. But she's kind of like Millicent. Doesn't stand out too much, just seems like a good person in many ways. So, yeah, nothing much more to say there. Oh, Jessica, I think. Jessica Winks, is that it? The Sweetums. Well, she was also a Miss Pawnee and then married into Sweetums. The Sweetums candy factory, I guess, because of... Jeez, I forgot the name of the family behind everything of Sweetums. Newport? Yeah, Newport Senior, of course. Well, she's a good character, I think. She seems a bit shallow in the beginning, but later she's doing well with Sweetums. Gives Ben a job and everything. But maybe a little bit more. Maybe she has more character than the ones down here, but yeah, I think I'll put her there. So this is Tamara. Well, at least she goes by the name of Tammy. What's your point? Ron Swanson's mother. I love this episode is really good, and I just love how when they try to get her to get Ron back to his normal self after, I think it was Tammy won that time. And they just recognize her as Ron's mother quite easily when she has a room full of guns and also gets asked about them, and she like counters with, well, isn't this America? Then I shouldn't have to stand in my own home to answer stupid questions or something like that. And yep, she's definitely Ron's mother, all right. And she can drink. Forgot the name. April's sister. She's I mean, we don't get to know her as much as April, of course. And when I get to her, you'll see that I really, really enjoy April's character. Natalie, I think her name is, but she's really similar. I wouldn't put her in the same category, but she's at least good. It's like we don't really need two Aprils, but that's also why it's good that we don't see her as often as April, of course. So she's really good. Nothing to complain about there. Then we have Ken. I think wasn't it Ken? Yeah, the Wamapoke Indian chief. He's at least a good character. I do enjoy how, like, his role in the Harvest Festival, and he goes along with the curse and tries to convince everyone about the curse because of the I guess sacred ground that the Harvest Festival was taking place on, and just how he plays into it with the at Port Hapley's show with the recreational animation of how he put the curse, or at least yeah, how Leslie, how was it again? Like she was the cause of the curse or something. I just can't remember it exactly, but good character. Yeah, not much more to say. Diane Lewis, she's at least good. It's really nice to see Ron finally have a wife he's happy with, and nothing to complain. I have absolutely nothing to complain about Diane with. She's great, good looking, really nice, treats Ron the way he should be treated, so to speak. Yeah, good character. Shauna Mulway Tweep, the journalist, she appears very often, but doesn't do too much, I think. Good character, nonetheless. Greg Pekaitis appeared at least one episode, being a real jerk to Leslie. I think okay. I do enjoy that it really turned out that he was a huge jerk who played Leslie like a fiddle. And at the point where he had actually gone on Craigslist, well, his real mother reveals that he sometimes gets other women to like act as his mother from Craigslist to seem innocent about things. That's just messed up, to be honest. That, you know, he's a character, of course, but I really hate him. And I do understand why Leslie hated him so much. Dave, Louis C.K. He's at least a good character. I mean, he was insecure about things. He was a cop, maybe a little bit. Yeah, I like how he uses like the cop language in regular speech, so to speak. When he was interviewed about, well, he thought he was asked if he loved the military. Was that it? I was like, oh, Leslie, yeah, that makes much more sense. If I love Leslie, or if I'm in love with Leslie, affirmative. Like, he uses words like that. I think that's funny. Then we have Brandy Max, the Leslie Knope lookalike porn actress, who was really supportive of different things that Leslie was supportive of, like the painting of the centaur that looked like Leslie, and how Brandy took that as the same kind of art as she does, which really is very different from that painting. But a funny character nonetheless, and I think she's a real fun addition to Pawnee in general. She's great, or at least good in terms of this tier list. Honestly, I don't remember this woman here. So I'll just put it here right now, but without any good reason. Then we have Jennifer, this a little bit quirky what's her title? Campaign manager or something. Really good at her job. Doesn't really. Well, she cares about things sometimes, and sometimes it seems she doesn't. But she's also at the same time really helpful. And she was a fun counterpart to Leslie during her campaign against Bobby Newport Jr. So she's at least a good character, I think. I can't believe I'm Joan. Joan. I was about to say that I kind of misremembered her name, or at least didn't remember. But I think she's great on Pawnee Today. I think the talk show is great standout in Pawnee, and the way that Tom always flirted with her all the way until her separation with her husband. I think when Tom started to get a little freaked out because she could flirt, he could flirt with her, or at least just compliment her as much as he wanted to, because she couldn't do anything as long as she stays faithful with her husband. But as soon as that was over, he got scared and didn't really dare to do anything with her. But she's fun. She's well, she has met up at her show Being Hung Over, where Ron takes over, and yeah, well, I think she's a great character. This guy, Jeremy Jam, is kind of like Dennis Feinstein. Maybe not as evil, but like, I feel like Dennis is pretty like being a. This is hard to explain, but Jeremy Jam is a huge idiot as well. I just feel like he's maybe a little quirkier. He has really weird social skills. Feels like he and Leslie becomes best friends, even though, well, Leslie's having none of that. The way he's introduced, like always being a thorn in Leslie's side, in more ways than one, like professionally, but of course, his huge moment came in Leslie and Ben's wedding. Like, he's just a huge, undescribable idiot there, and more than deserved that knuckle in the face by Ron. So that lawsuit was, well, I don't want to get political here, but I hated that. So, but the thing is, I'm hating him for all the right reasons, and he can like be annoyingly funny sometimes. Just his face whenever he makes a stupid joke, and he just feels like he's the funniest guy ever, and just yeah, he's snarky, he's an idiot. Yeah, I think he's a great character. I love to hate him. Then we have Sam Elliott, Ron Dunn. It was funny because you had these Eagleton counterparts, Craig being Donna's, then we have Ron being Ron's. And in the very beginning, Ron liked Ron, but that quickly turned the other way around when it turned out that this Ron, was vegan, he wore sandals, he meditates, drinks some weird tea that Ron's never heard of, like Swanson's never heard of. He was a fun counterpart. And even though Swanson hated Dunn could turn the other cheek, and if I use that like that damn, I'm really bad at this. What's it called again? Oh, this is so bad. Well, he can at least be the better man and appreciate Swanson for who he is. So yeah. Bobby Newport Jr. I think is great. This spoiled little kid who just wanted to impress his dad by winning the election against Leslie, and he has a lot of quirks. Just hoping she would give him the victory, and well, I think is great. Really thick, but still popular because he's Nick Newport Sr., son of the owner of Sweetums. But he's enjoyable. I think Paul Rudd does a great job playing this really spoiled, pretty dense guy. Typhoon, he's like a barber. I'm not. Do they call it barber when they cut hair? In general, at least Donna's friend. He's all right. He stands out, but in some ways, but yeah, he's not too much, I think. Don't remember this guy's name, but he was really into boats, like ships, model ships in bottles. I remember that at least, but yeah, nothing too much. Maybe meh. I think so. Maybe she should be in meh. Mark Brandanowitz is a curious case. Brandanowitz, of course. He, I think it's a little too bad that he went off the show so early, because I really started to like him after a while. So he was portrayed as this player, I guess, and I just never thought of him that way. I didn't buy him as this man who would sleep with women, never call them again, and just move on to other women. I really enjoyed him being Anne's boyfriend. Mostly because I just felt like that was more natural for him. He tried his best. He was kind of insecure, but was really happy. And I think it was just a weird dynamic between Leslie and him and everything. But once he was with Anne, I felt like he belonged in the series. And I think it's too bad that that ended as quickly as it did. And it might. I'm not sure how other people feel about him, because I know the show became a lot better after he went off the show. But I still think he was a good character though. He got better at least. Tammy 1, no, Tammy 2, sorry, is at least great. She is just a psycho. She's this huge nympho, always after Ron. And just the way Ron turns out every time they meet up is just so weird. So it's insane that she's insane. This picture just describes so much about her. I think she's hilarious though. She's almost amazing. But she's so over the top, and I find it really funny. And it's amazing how, like, what kind of effect, for the most part, she's had on Ron, both, well, at least during the show, whenever they hook up again. So this is the, I guess, little Leslie Knope, who had the United Nations role-playing thing, which is a hilarious episode, by the way. But she is a character who doesn't do much. She's one who looks up to Leslie. She stood up against Leslie whenever, just because of the whole fight between her and Ben, which was right. So yeah, she's okay. She appeared maybe a couple times later as well. She didn't do that much, I think. So Lucy, ex-girlfriend of Tom. She was adorable. She was good with Tom. She was fun, but nothing too much. Okay, I think. Andy Dwyer, of course, top, amazing. So weird how he was with Anne. They I've come to understand that, and I see that myself as well, that the first seasons he was just being a jerk, but he came into his own quickly after that, and everything with him chasing April, just being this big, really silly and hilarious guy who just lives in chaos, really enjoyable, and he and April are just the best match, no doubt. Of course, Burt Macklin, FBI, his alter egos are great. Yeah, what can I say? Andy's top, no doubt. Of course, Chris Pratt has become really huge. I mean, well, it's mixed with him being the voice of Mario, but of course in the Marvel universe he's been popular. But I'm not going to talk too much about Marvel. I'm not a huge fan, I could say that much, but I think this is his best work ever, no doubt. Probably, I think, is a really fun character. I think it's just because it's hard to pinpoint exactly why I think he's so funny. Um, but I just love his face. He's just enjoyable to watch. Such a weird, um, such a weird. What's the word? Like, well, he has a couple of shows, talk shows and stuff. Like, okay, host, of course. He's such a weird host, and one of my favorite lines is when he introduces, of course, Brandy Max. Yeah, there she was. Onto his show when they're talking about the art versus pornography, which he means is both art though, and he says something like that Brandy Max had starred in over, I think it was 100 porn videos, and he follows up with some of which are very good, and I just feel like that's just a really funny line to follow up with. So probably good character, not at least. Donna Meagle, I think she's great. I enjoy that we have this woman who's, not to make fun of anything here, but she's a little bit bigger than many other women, but she still has like this huge confidence. She's such to use, you have, like, you could call a man like a pimp because he's popular with the ladies. He can get every woman he wants or something. Donna's the same, just as a woman, and I think that's really cool to see. She she has her standards. She has her Mercedes and everything, but like, I think it's really cool just to see a woman like her, the way she is, that can get any man she wants, and she's being really picky about it. I think it's enjoyable. This is the old guy on the council. Can't remember his name, but he's really old, and he's being that old comes with something, like all ways to view the world. So he's okay, nothing too much. This is of course the guy that Donna ends up with. I think at least she meets him later in the series. Can't remember his name, but he's like this super nice. He's a teacher, by the way. Super nice guy, really good with kids, good with people in general. Like, in this episode, Donna warned Ron to keep this guy away from Donna. He was interested in Donna. Donna wasn't as interested in him. And just the way he can get even Ron to interact in super positive ways was really fun to see. Just the smile on Ron's face when he offers him a muffin is one of my favorite Ron Swanson moments. He's good. He doesn't stand out too much to be a great character. I think he's not like over the top with the likes of like more Lisa and Tammy too, but he's a great guy, just enjoyable. I can't remember the name of this woman, but she's like she kind of promotes Sweetums when Leslie and Anne try to fight. These huge, like, what was it like again? Like a huge soda which was baby sized, according to Punchburger, of course. Punchburger. Oh, yeah, I guess Punchburger is the company, not Sweetums. But she is a character. Doesn't stand out too much, really, in many ways. Dr. Saperstein, the father of Mona Lisa and John Ralphio. He's kind of annoying, kind of fun how he switches between being, what's the word? Do you call it birth mother? I'm not sure. But of course he works with pregnant women to, midwife is the word, like at least the old word. I'm sure there's something new, more gender neutral, but it switches between that and being like Tom Haverford's nemesis with the rent-a-swag thing. Uh, so kind of annoying in some ways, but okay, I think. So the Kristen Bell character from Eagleton, well, she's Eagleton through and through, but also nice. She kind of gets treated poorly by. Oh, you can't see her right now. Treated poorly by Leslie when she's asking for help. Is that, you know, does she deserve it? Well, being an Eagletonian, maybe not, but she was trying to be really nice about the whole thing and kind of being like humble about asking for help. But she's still this rich Eagletonian in many ways, but she doesn't. Oh, excuse me. She really doesn't stand out too much. So she's nothing more than good. Now, Councilman Dexhart is at least a great character. I really enjoy. Okay, so the fun thing here is I'm actually putting him next to Donna. What I described Donna as, for some reason, Councilman Dexhart is the same, but he's like this politician who has. He's on the council with Leslie, with Jeremy Jam, with this old guy and everything. But he has this total loss of control when it comes to sex scandals. And I think it's so funny because this is not some guy who's just like, well, not. I don't speak for everyone when I say this, but I just don't see him as this super handsome guy. It's kind of like the thing with Mark, but this is just so over the top, which makes it so hilarious. Like I don't remember all the details, but the thing is, he's had like, how was it again? Like while his wife was giving birth at the hospital, he was having sex with like 4 nurses or something. It's just insanely over the top, and I think it's super hilarious. And the thing is, he always admits to these things, but people still vote for him anyway. It's so weird. It's a huge. I guess it's like a huge satire on certain politicians in the United States of America, or even other places in the world, of course. Probably not exclusively, but I'm guessing they're actually, well, at least, pointing towards someone in the United States. But it's so exaggerated, and I find it hilarious. I would call him Mike, but of course this isn't Breaking Bad, so this is Ben's father. He's kind of like Mike in Breaking Bad, but I think he's good. Don't see him too much. I can't really remember much other than, I guess he's, no, they didn't come to the wedding because it was so spontaneous. But of course, the family dinner they had this one time. He brings in a new girlfriend. She's actually on this list here, so I'll get to her. So maybe this woman is actually Ben's mother. I think so. At least if he's here, and I can't see any other character here that seems to be her, so I guess she is. But I just don't remember much about them. Of course, I remember the Twizzlers family line, which is funny, of course. But I think she's good. No, she's okay. He's good, I think. Then I'll put these two together. The animal control buddies, really random guys, often high. I think they're both good. I like how they were fired, both of them, but they, like, the only 2 qualified guys to actually go to apply for the job were these 2 who just forgot that was their old job they were applying for. They're just so strange, so high all the time apparently. Well, at least most of the time. Funny characters, I think. They're both good. Anne Briggins. She is maybe she and Ben, I guess, are the 2 I feel like are kind of hardest to define in some ways. Maybe Anne is harder than Ben. But she has her moments. But the thing I find maybe most amusing with her is her friendship with Leslie, and just But Leslie is the one who's the better character between these two, of course. But I mean, I like Anne. She's a good person. She's funny at times. She has her moments with quirky things, but she's consistently clumsy, consistently. Um, well, she had her run with trying to date, where things just went badly all the time, until she started dating herself, as she put it. But she's an important character, very important character actually. She's the one who started the whole series in some ways. I mean, about lot 48, if I recall. Um, which is of course in her backyard. She was dating Andy. She ended up dating Chris. She dated Mark, of course. So she's important in many ways. So she's great like that, and she has good friendships with people, good interactions. But she alone is not that great. I think maybe she's at the very bottom among the main characters who are there from the start to, well, at least most of the series though. Yeah, I got run over by Alexis. Jean-Ralphio, amazing. I just love Jean-Ralphio. His singing. I mean, technically I'm homeless. It's just one of the funniest lines to me in the whole show. I love every time he just appears out of nowhere. I love how he sings. He's just a super big idiot, spoiled dude, just like Mona Lisa. But of course, she's the worst, so she's not better than him. I like his friendship with Tom. His interactions with all the other guys is hilarious. Like with Ron, how he enters the series applying for the assistant job because Tom recommended him is hilarious. He's like Entertainment 720 with Tom. It was such a hilarious run at the show there. Yeah, he's one of my favorites without a doubt, and I love Ben Schwartz. He's a funny guy, but yeah, he's definitely up there. Jerry, Gary, Larry is great. Above Anne, maybe below Ben. Not sure. I'm not trying to rank these in order per row here, but I'll put him up there. He gets made a lot of fun of, but I feel sorry for him. But it's like sometimes over the top. But at least he. I do enjoy how he has this great life at home, which is deserved, and it's either that, like him being with a beautiful wife, having three beautiful daughters, or if it was the largest penis thing that the other actors wanted to give him, since they felt so bad being so cruel to him on the show, which I think is a great gesture, though. I think, I mean, he's clumsy and everything, and sometimes it's really funny, sometimes it's just the way the others treat him that's kind of the joke. But I think maybe the funniest thing about him is in Leslie's trial, where he asks her to state his name. She asks him to state his name, and he says Gary Gergich, and Leslie just thinks he messed that up, but nope. It turns out Gary is his real name. He was once called Jerry by an earlier boss, and he didn't dare to correct him, so he just went along with Jerry, and I think that's telling kind of what kind of character he is, to be honest, and I think that's really funny. April Ludgate, amazing, no doubt. One of the funniest. Not to be sexist or anything, because many times I feel like, at least I find male characters often funnier than female characters. This show is really strong on funny female characters, by the way, really strong. And April is one of the reasons why, and I'll get to the other one later. But April is so hilarious. I absolutely love her. She's funny in so many creepy and weird ways. And just the weirdest character maybe on TV that I've ever seen. It's great. She's amazing. I don't think I have to explain much else. And I absolutely love that I have little Sebastian here. He goes into amazing, of course. I have no words for how silly the idea is to have this mini horse being this super huge deal. I'm kind of like Ben. Like, why is he so huge? And we never get the answer to that. It's just being, as April put it, I think, just being the best at being a little horse or something, like a mini horse, and that should be enough apparently. But I just feel like Ben expresses what we, the audience, think when we see it, and I think it's brilliant how they always manage to bring little Sebastian into the story in so many ways. Like the memorial, of course, but there's of course the Harvest Festival when he first appeared, the ending with the hologram on the stage. It's amazing. I think it's such a fun idea. I'm not sure how they thought of this, but I love it. So we have Patton Oswalt as this Pawnee citizen who is really conservative, or I'm not sure. Oh, sorry, I forget how what's what. But he's very traditional though. He likes the traditions, how it's written in the law of Pawnee and everything. Um, he's a good character. He challenges Leslie to different things. He's a lonely guy. He's a super nerd. Nothing too special, I think, but he was in a couple of decent episodes at least. Gail, of course, Jerry's wife. I see that we don't have the two other daughters here. We have only Millicent and Gail. Well, she's not much more than Millicent, but I do like as a character. But just them being Jerry's family, I think is a great thing, though. As characters, not too much, but yeah, them being his family makes him good. I think it's I just enjoy, like I said, with enjoy him having this really nice life at home where he's not the clumsy one that everyone makes fun of, but where he's the hero, and he deserves that, I think. Tammy 1. She's colder, scarier maybe to many, but I don't think she's as enjoyable as Tammy 2. She doesn't appear as often, and maybe that it makes her even scarier in some ways. But I just love how Tammy 2 can show up out of nowhere and being this psycho sex maniac and being all overrun from the second she enters. But Tammy 1 is a good character, and it's just fun to see how scared Ron gets whenever she's near. Then there's Ben's father's new girlfriend. She reveals that she's pregnant at the party. That's pretty much all I remember about that. There's not much more. I think the Twizzlers family thing was a little bit funnier. That's all I can recall right now. So maybe that's on me, but yeah, that's it. Sewage Joe, I think, is a really funny character. He might be. He's just this weird, sleazy, goofy dude. This tall guy with a rocking mustache, always believes in himself. He's really funny. I enjoy him, and he got fired by showing his junk, so to speak, to every woman at the city hall, I think. Really funny guy. He's silly, confident, doesn't get too lucky, I think. And I absolutely love how the episode with him and Burt Macklin where he throws the pie at Ben's face. Funny guy, funny character. He's at least good. Tinnifer, didn't care for her. She appeared, didn't stay too long. She was this very stereotypical. What is the stereotype? Not sure, but I like this woman who's really obsessed with luxury, looking young, looking beautiful, everything, and just the way she speaks. Ugh. She brought out the worst in April, even though April loved her, I think. So yeah, I don't think there's any bad characters here. So what I said about like a really good, funny female characters, like April, I think is really funny. Tammy one, no, sorry, Tammy two, really funny. Joan is really funny, I think. Um, Leslie is, I can't really mention that many female lead characters in sitcoms and comedy shows, like the one at the very center of the show. But Leslie, I think she's amazing. I think she's quirky enough without being annoying. She's so kind-hearted. But she always like, she's not this main character who's just uh, this normal good guy, good woman in this case, um, who's like very well balanced in so many ways. She's super quirky, super nerdy. She's a hard worker. Um, she has her flaws, definitely. And when it comes to, without dividing between male and female lead characters, I still think she's one of the best lead characters in a sitcom or a comedy show. Leslie Knope is great. Really enjoy her. Um, I don't know what more to say, but she's amazing, without a doubt. I think she's brilliant, and Amy Poehler, if I'm saying that correctly, does an amazing job portraying this character. So this is how I would rank the Parks and Recreation tier list, characters tier list. I wouldn't put anyone in bad. The ones I don't care that much for are more like meh, but there's a lot of okay characters, a lot of even more good characters, some great, and well, a number of amazing characters as well. So this is how I would rank these. Maybe there are some that are left off the list that could have been here. I just can't think of anyone right now. But yeah, amazing. Ron Swanson, Chris Traeger, Tom Haverford, not Chris Pratt, but Andy Dwyer, John Ralphio, Saperstein, April Ludgate, Leslie Knope, and Little Sebastian. Then we have the great characters. I mean, there are some here that deserves a mention. Ben White is of course great. The worst, Mona Lisa, Dave, Jeremy Jam, idiot. Joan is it like Calamezzo or something. Bobby Newport, Tammy too, great. Donna's great. Larry, Gary, Jerry is great. Ann Perkins is also great, but Councilman Dexhart, oh, he's so hilarious. So once again, this was Some Guy Rank Stuff, and just remember that I don't believe I'm right or wrong. This is just my opinion. So thanks for watching. Of course, leave some feedback if you want to. I'll graciously take it from you, or at least accept it. So let me know if there's something I can do better. Thanks. See you next time.